Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So I was just watching a bit of Russell Brand's Rumble. I listened to most of it and skimmed through some of it to see what he was talking about. I don't know. I find it, especially since the YouTube one he put, the first one he put after the allegations, and I put some comment about that he made no comment about the allegations. It was all about him losing money, and that it makes me question that aspect of him that, is he really interested in truth, or is this just a job for him, just a way of getting money? I mean, maybe both are. I suppose the thing is, in the system that we live within, money is, you need to be able to get money to live. But often he does put quotes like the quote I put in the last one, about, the rich staying rich and the poor staying poor. So I don't know, it just came uneasy with me that he didn't even talk about the allegations. I know he's already denied them, but to not actually go through it and I mean, I expect that's for legal reasons, but and even in these new rumbles, there's no mention of it. He's just talking about the conspiracy of the media, and yeah, I get it. It does. It is strange that it didn't do them any favors to write to Rumble and I think a few other. I don't know if they wrote to YouTube or not, because the letter that was published by Rumble was afterwards, because it mentions like, are you going to follow suit like YouTube and stop him from making money? Which Rumble said no, they're not going to do that. So that's why he's mostly on Rumble now, because to make money. And yeah, that is like strange. Why they're getting involved in this is not their place. Technically, according to the media, it's not actually a government person. It's someone who's working for the committee of media and blah blah blah. Maybe that is part of their remit. I don't know, but it does seem strange that they're getting involved in it. Of course, that allows him to then say, "Well, look, it's not about these things. It's about, they want to take me down because I'm talking about truth, and I'm an independent, news broadcaster, etc." But I don't know. I mean, it's possible both things could be true. That it is possible that there is a part of a conspiracy. Obviously, Channel 4 is a government. Is it still government? And the Times, I think that's used to be Rupert Murdoch, is a part of his group still. I don't know what he says about them. So it's possible that there may be people that would want to silence him. I don't know how much influence he really does have. I mean, yeah, he has a big following, but yeah, I mean, it's possible. We do know, like, a lot of things he talked about on his Rumble. Yeah, where media all comes together, and when you turn the news on, they're all reading the same hymn sheet, as it were. I guess most of that's because they get their details from Reuters. I know we've talked about a lot of these things with, we know that, there's that famous YouTube video where it shows the American news, them all saying the same thing. So, yeah, that's obvious that they all do talk about and say the same things. There is like a grouping of that. And it is possible that they thought, that someone wants to take Russell Brand down because of whatever. But the problem is there any truth to the allegations? And that's that's why I'm wondering, is this like misdirection? Rather than him talking about the allegations made against him, he's going to talk about, well, it's all because, I'm telling the truth and help me. And, asking, this is what, didn't really sit well with me, asking other people who are probably poorer than him to give him, to support him on Rumble. But that's the thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people, and this, this other thing I talk about, like with football. Why do we, support football teams that, we're cheering for them, yeah, and all that, and it benefits us not. It doesn't help us, but it's just part of this, humanity that we cling on to other people by proxy or whatever, as it were. So there's the same with, I'm sure there's lots of people who don't have much money. They're giving money to Russell Brand. Well, that makes no sense at all, does it? I'm sure he has enough money on the adverts alone on these things. They were estimating, I don't know, the thing is, I don't know whether these estimates are true, but it's, 600,000 or whatever for advert revenues losing out on YouTube now. So it probably doesn't really need that much support from us little people So it does seem a little bit, it seems he's very interested in money, despite a lot of his things being, about the rich staying rich and the poor staying poor, and the system being geared that way. And yet you're asking poor people, if you've got some money, give us some money, support me. I don't know, that didn't sit well with me as someone who, I'd rather get rid of money. But then, I suppose you could say, well, we live in this world and he needs money to carry on, but I don't know how much money he needs from actually his poor supporters. So I don't know, but it made me think about like cancel culture and things like that. And we live in a very difficult time where it comes to responsibility now, where, everyone knows that creative people have been allowed to get away with these kind of things. Pablo Picasso, Woody Allen, different things. Obviously, what's the American author? Edgar Allan Poe, Lewis Carroll. There's lots of examples where there's questionable things. Most authors, I suspect, pre-1900, even some after, probably had some racist and misogynistic elements in their stories. They often talk about Shakespeare's plays having racial elements, and Enid Blyton and Roald Dahl, because they were born of an age where that was how they were taught. Because remember, we're all babies and we're products of our time. So sometimes it's unfair to look back, because, people used to drill holes in the head to get rid of headaches, because at that time that was what was believed was the way of doing it. So we do live in a difficult time now. And I was thinking, like, well, how do we, what do we do? Do we take the bits out that are offensive now? Do we have the rights to do that? Do we just stop listening to those things? Or like music. There was a Don McLean. There was some scandal with him, with R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. There's a lot of different people. Rolf Harris, Jimmy Savile. Like I was saying, like when I used Russell Brand's clip, because he used, I was talking about this idea of like, wow, the distinct difference between the person and what they say. But then again, I was thinking, well, what about, say, Adolf Hitler? If he said something that made, was logical or truthful, say, would it be okay to quote him? No, of course it wouldn't, because he murdered, was it 6 million Jews or 7 million Jews or whatever, and all, the wars and etc. So I don't know whether you can just say, well, because Russell Brand is, say, like, if he's found guilty of these things, and then can you still use his clips because what he was saying was actually factual, truthful? Because then, of course, that would be, I don't know, it's a very difficult time we live in to try and navigate through this. And also the fact that we, are spectators in a way, because all these people, even like there may be people out there that have got away with these things, famous people, celebrities, like one person was saying, why doesn't anyone produce a list of Jeffrey Epstein's Island, the people that went with him, rather than Russell Brand? There may be loads of these celebrities in the past, the future, the present, as to say, that, writers, poets, whatever, that got or did all extraordinary, like, what's his name? The famous one, Byron. There could be all sorts of scandals. So I don't know, because you don't want to attribute yourself with someone who is this thing, but also you don't want to, like with Russell Brand's case, what if he is innocent? I don't know. There does seem to be, obviously there is the media pressure, because every time he produces a rumble, the media has, now the Met Police are investigating. There is a correlation. Obviously there's a reason for that, because they're thinking, this is the story. But maybe there is also, like he said, a conspiratorial aspect of it. So it leaves us in the middle, not knowing really, how do we know the truth? Because only really he knows the truth, and the accusers know the truth. But the problem is, we know that people often, all the criminals in the world, the famous crimes, if you ever watch these programs, they don't usually, on TV, they all admit, yes, I did it, and I did it because of this reason. But in reality, people don't do that. People will staunchly deny the most horrendous things right to the end of their lives, saying they were innocent. So that's the problem. We know that, but is that because they're telling the truth, or is that because they can't tell the truth? So I don't know. It's a really difficult position to not know. Obviously there's a pressure to sort of say, to go against Russell Brand because of the media is against him. Then if you don't do that, then it's like, well, why are you on his side? But the thing is I don't know. But it's just strange. Like from him, I've said more about the allegations than he has, and yet there are allegations against him. And I would expect someone, especially a truther, who talks about everyone else, to sort of come clean and say, yes, this, and this. The problem is he may believe, like I was thinking, like maybe he believes that he didn't do anything because he believes it was consensual. But then there's that idea of the coercive things, like where does that line cross with consent? He may believe that there may be a woman, like there were many stories where, not many stories, one story where it mentioned a woman, she felt obliged, or trapped, and then so she just let it happen. We hear that a lot with rape cases where people have felt like there's no way out. They're scared. They just let it happen, and therefore that person may believe there was consent, but that's not, is it? Because that person was so scared or felt like they were obliged that they just let it happen, and therefore there wasn't actual consent. So this could be why a person could believe that they gave consent when they didn't. Well, I don't know, but it's a very grey and murky area. It's just a shame that human beings just can't tell the truth. And then, like they were forced to tell the truth, or there was a mind thing that could actually read 100%. This is the actual truth. So we could not have to worry about knowing, like there was this case like I was watching on Sky, the murder of, I've forgotten their names now, and I only watched it yesterday. There was a mother and a girl, and one sister survived. It was a big story. And they now think, what's his name? Leo. Oh, the Hammer murderer. They believe he was the one who murdered it, and an innocent man has been in there all this time, 3 trials, and on the smallest amount of evidence. But so it's so difficult to know who's telling the truth when we know humans can lie. But really, he needs to sort of talk about the allegations and explain. I mean, maybe the Met Police will force him to do that if they do find, because they are investigating it. And if there is, the problem is that it's been such a long time. What evidence is there other than he versus she, And that's where it becomes very difficult. And I suppose where you could, feasibly, if you see it from his point of view, it is possible to say pay people to say this thing, or even I've watched the program. I could say the things that I know would needed to be said to sort of make it look believable. And we know that people have lied in the past. People do lie. We know that. So I don't know. It's just really difficult. But putting that aside, the other concern was the fact that money seems to be a very important part to him, which seemed a bit strange to be a truther and to be asking people for money when you probably live a lot better life than them. And so that sort of didn't sit well. But I know it's the world we live in. But anyway, yeah, it just shows it's a very grey area, this, and I don't know what the resolution is going to be to actually finding the truth, because it's in the hands of those people who know whether they're lying or telling the truth, and up to them whether they will do it or not, and whether the police or the media can get to the bottom of it, and whether they should be getting to the bottom of it or not. Obviously the police, if there's a crime, they have to, but the media is a different question. Anyway, put your thoughts and comments. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.